Hi everyone, welcome back. Jedi Knight of the Woods here, and this is the second or third video, should I say, in the series of safety videos I'm going to put up on my channel around the use of sharp edge tools. And this time I'm going to be just looking at the fixed blade. So after we've gone and bought ourselves a nice Swiss Army knife, we're going out into the woods, we're doing a few bits and bobs. More often than not, we'll look to pick up ourselves a fixed blade knife, and there are various reasons for it. They're more robust, they're capable of more jobs, in many ways they're safer, but all fixed blades are not the same, and it's really up to you to go and find the package that works for you. I would do a bit of research into it, and I wouldn't just look at the knife. A lot of people will just look at the knife. Everybody thinks a full tang is as safe as anything. Yes, that's true, but a rat tail tang can be safe as well. A half tang can be safe. You know, look at the whole package itself. The sheath is a very important part of the package. There's no good having the most expensive, well-made, greatest steel knife if you've got a cheap, naff, crappy sheath. It's going to end up being dangerous. This is the Condor Bush Law that I've got. It's a very, very good value for money knife, and the sheath particularly is made out of very, very thick leather, and that was one thing I really liked about it. When you're looking at sheaths as well, sometimes you can find very, very cheap sheaths that are just stitched around the edge. They're two bits folded over and just stitched down the line. I don't like those at all because the blade can end up coming through them. Look, when you're looking for a sheath, look for a stopper piece of leather. You can probably see that just there. It's a piece of leather that is sewn in between the two that are folded over, and that takes an awful lot more for the knife to come through it. However you choose to carry a knife, whether it's a neck knife arrangement, let's just come down, neck knife arrangement, belt arrangement, carry it across here, carry it across the back, whatever. I'm not going to tell you what's best and what's not. It's entirely up to you how you want to decide to carry a knife. But think about the dangers of each. You know, is there a retention system built into the sheath or not? That's going to make a big difference to where you carry it. If you've got a cheap, crappy sheath and you're wearing it as a neck knife, and it happens to come through in the middle of the night while you're rolling around fighting in a sleeping bag, unless of course you're safe and you take it off, you know, you could end up with some serious problems. When we're drawing the knife out of the sheath, regardless of whether it's got a stopper piece of leather down here or not, we hold the sheath on the back, and something like this, we just loosen it with a quick pull, and then make sure that we can grab the handle nice and safely and bring it out and away from the sheath. You never ever want to be using a knife like this for pointing around, as Mick says, where's the sausages? Over there. Anything along those lines. Keep control of the blade at all times. And again, just to reiterate my sharps analogy, S for your surroundings. Is there anything that can get in my way? H for honed. Am I trained to use this tool? Do I know how to use it safely and effectively? H for attitude. Am I upset? Am I angry? Am I depressed? Am I under the influence of anything? R for respect. Am I using the right tool for the right job? This being a fixed blade is capable than probably a lot more than the folding knife is. But it's also not as capable as an axe, it's not as capable as a big machete, it's not as capable as something a lot bigger and a lot stronger, for example. P for preparedness. Have I got my safety equipment? Do I need gloves to use this knife? Actually, probably not. I'm not too worried about it. I like to keep control through my fingers and feel the knife in my hand. Do I need safety goggles? Probably not. But preparedness. Do I know where my first aid kit is? Now out in the woods, I know full well that my first aid kit is literally 3 steps away from me in my bag. And I wouldn't use a tool without having a first aid kit there. The final S, my sheathing options. If I do happen to have an accident and I need to put this down, if I do stop what I'm doing and get called over somewhere else, do I have my sheathing options available? Yes, I do. And when I'm putting the knife away again, keeping the fingers well out of the way of that the path of travel and the path of least resistance of that sheath, I'll insert the tip to make sure it's in, gently guide the knife in, and then I'll give it a last final push just to make sure it's safely in there. No problems, no coming out, safe knife. No knife, no edge tool is a dangerous tool. The people that use the tools create the danger. An axe in its sheath, hung up on a wall, out of the way of any children's hands, people moving around, is not a dangerous tool. A knife like this, as sharp as it is not a dangerous tool. I turn it into a dangerous tool when I give it to somebody that doesn't know how to use it. That's when it turns into a dangerous tool. Now, the safest knife or axe or saw is one that's not being used. But of course that's not really practical. If you're in different parts of the world, asking to borrow somebody's knife or axe is more insulting than asking to borrow their wife. So generally, I would suggest it's probably better not to ask to borrow somebody else's tool, because you could insult them. If anybody asks me if they can borrow my knife, I accept that they're not aware of the etiquette, and I carry my Swiss Army knife with me every day, at work, in the office. People know I have it and they come to me for cutting jobs. But generally, if they ask me, can I borrow your knife, I'll say, no, but I'm more than happy to do the cutting for you, and they're happy with that. We've already covered how to hand a knife over to somebody if you choose to do that, or if you want to do that. But personally, on the etiquette side, I would suggest do the cutting for them. You know what you're doing. You can't be guaranteed that they do. They might make a mistake. Personally, I would feel a bit ashamed with that happening. So I think that's about it, guys. We've covered sharp, we've covered the area of danger, we've covered how to hand over a knife to somebody else, and the more preferable option is not doing it in the first place and doing the cutting for that person. We've covered how to do the different cuts, the normal cut, the scissor cut, the push cut, notching cut, and what we call the fruit or the vegetable cut. So I think what we'll do is move on to saws, the safety of using a saw.